How would you assess the team's performance?
No different.
What frustrated you the most about tonight?
That you see what happened yesterday, and there's a repeat of that. Teams basically looking like they're coming in and playing harder, and they're looking at that mentality that if we play harder than them, we'll beat them. There's no fight, no aggression, no just blank stares. And in the past, if we didn't win or weren't going to win, at least we would get into it, do something about it. And right now, it's the same mistakes over and over and over. Things we talk about and show at halftime get worse in the third quarter, and it doesn't look like there's any resistance.
One small bright spot was Isaiah Crawford. What did you like about his performance, and could you see him maybe getting more minutes at some point?
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he came in with energy and grabbed loose balls and got his hand on a few, and that alone it stands out, and it shouldn't stand out. It should be the case with everybody.
With the current roster, is there anyone you're looking to provide that kind of emotional spark and the energy outside of yourself?
The guys that are here that have done it for the last few years. Like, it's not one guy, it's the group in general. And so you have the players that started the year doing it, and until recently at least had that. And so, no, it's not like one guy's going to do it. It's collective. I played, and so I know that you have to bring some juice and energy on the court yourself, and then I got to get them motivated to play, not just against the big teams. And so, but regardless of that, no, it's not one person.
What have you noticed in the last two games? It looks like teams are starting to try to hunt Alpy on defense and put him in those pick and roll situations.
It's been the case since I've been here, so no different there.
And one more, Alpy. Over the last 6 games, I think he's under 40% from the field. What are you kind of seeing with the shots he's getting and why they just aren't falling the way he's used to?
Decent shots. I mean, shots he's made since I've been here, and getting good looks there. So that's not the problem. I think at times young players allow offense to dictate their game in general, and to your point, give some away on defense when you're not as engaged because you're not scoring. And so it's not just an Alperen thing. I think a lot of guys were going through shooting problems, and you let it affect your all-around game. And so the shots he's getting are decent. I think he's going to see some doubles, as always, but he's getting really good looks deep in the paint, and he's been up and down as far as that. But I want the aggression to be there. What you saw in Indiana, you need to see that, and regardless of the result. And so he'll make his way out of it. But like I said, there's other ways to impact the game with scoring, and I don't want him to equate a great game with just scoring only.
You mentioned previously your personnel dictates, I guess, your team's shot diet. But do you think you're fighting an uphill climb at all? When you're falling behind in 3-point rate pretty much most nights.
I mean, we're winning early in the season by shooting a low amount and a high percentage, and I would say the double teams were warring some of those, but if we don't have a lot of guys that just downhill drivers consistently to drive and kick, there's going to be a lower number, and you got some isolation guys, and so when the doubles come, it happens. If not, we've won plenty of games without shooting a high amount.
Over the last couple of games, it looks like Reed's shot has been kind of flat. Do you think that's due to fatigue, maybe, of him playing so many minutes, his body getting used to playing those type of minutes?
I don't know. I mean, he's missing definitely. I think he's rushing a little bit. You can see that. Not sure about the trajectory of it, but great shooter that'll shoot himself out. But it's tough when a lot of guys are slumping as far as that. We had guys that have been in it and shot their way out, and now it's him and Alpy and not being at their best offensively. But like I said, you still have to do it all around, make plays for others, not just worry about shooting only being the only way you impact the game. And he can still make plays, and then you have to defend as well.
Tonight, 18 turnovers for 27 points for the Hornets. How many of those do you kind of feel were, I guess, self-inflicted versus anything that Charlotte was doing, like specifically defensively, to kind of force the issue on those turnovers? I
mean, I wouldn't say they did anything different or special at all. You drive into the crowd and you see 3-4 guys around you. You don't force it. Find guys on the perimeter. When we've done that, and we did that over our last 5 or 6 games, we had several clips of us touching the paint, kicking the ball out, ball moving, getting the wide open shots, but have to have that vision to see it and be strong with the ball. So I would say majority were driving into the crowd and just not being strong with the ball. And so nothing they did. They barely blitzed, barely went after guys, and it was pretty much careless. At halftime, we gave up 17 points on 10. Came out in the third quarter and gave up 5 more for 10 more points. And so, when 34 is offensive rebounds, second chance points, and turnovers in the first half, you're just giving the game away. 34 of your 61 are on those two areas.